We are back again on the channel where we take majorly the GRE, the SAT, and the GMAT question. This is standard tutor, and our job is to solve some questions, whether it is an O-level question, the post-O level or post-secondary questions. In as much as it is questions that are related to examination, we handle it here. So we have some questions on the board that we want to handle shortly. We provide some methods on solving them, like number 1 and 2. We'll be using 2 or more methods to solve them, and the number 3 we will only apply one method to solve number 3, which is substitution method, because it's simultaneous. We can use elimination, substitution, but the suitable method for this is substitution because of the nature of that question. So follow me. My name is Promise. Please subscribe to this channel, thumb up, refer as many persons as you can refer to us. We are giving away 50% commission on every GRE student to give to us to help you to train. You pay us fully, we give you back 50%, or they pay to you give us just half of the money, and you hold on to the half as a compensation to encourage you to bring more students to us. And that is why I'm challenging you this morning, I'm challenging you this day, I'm challenging you this afternoon, I'm challenging you this evening. Depending on the time you find this video and the time you are watching, give us students and you have your commission on all those students. So I'm going to be picking this question one after the other, solving them, and you see the way I go about it. Starting with number 1. Number 1 says find the values of y in this equation if y raised to power. So we're going to be using 2 methods to solve this. We're going to solve this with 2 methods. I pray within the 2 methods you should be able to grab your own. I've already received the equation / solution, so we just kick off with the solution thereof. And if we have y raised to power minus 2 plus 2y raised to power minus 1 minus 15 is equal to 0. Find the values of y. Possibly in mathematics, whenever you see power, yes, we call it power index or exponents, or in the word index, that's what brings about the initial equation. Now, whenever you see the power we have here determine the number of answers. The greatest of the highest degree of the power we have determine the number of answers we are going to get. What am I trying to say? Since we are having power raised to power minus 2, meaning we can have power 2, meaning we are going to be having 2 solutions. That's just a simple talk. Now let's continue. Don't forget again, this platform is basically for GRE, SAT, and GMAT, and other questions can come in like O-level. We appreciate. Thank you very much as you watch on with us. Our purpose of doing this is to get subscribers, thumbs, likes, and many referrals. As I said earlier, on each student you give to us, don't forget you have the money with us, which is about 50% of whatever the client paid. Now let's go. If you have something like this, the first thing is the first method. On the first method, you can decide to say let y raised to power minus 1 be equal to k. You know, I like A, I like M, I like N, and many of those alphabet X and Y. Let this be equal to k. And when you say let this be equal to k, then you take it back to the equation. Then you can have it like this: y raised to power minus 1 all raised to power 2. That's the way you can rewrite this. The law of indices will give you this, plus 2 y raised to power minus 1 minus 15. If you like, you take 15 to the other side, but let's leave it where it is. Now we substitute, because we have already gotten k. We say k squared, this is k, plus 2k, I think it's clearer, minus 15 is equal to 0. So this is what we are saying. Now we can solve this. As a matter of fact, we are dealing with quadratic. I won't need to solve everything, because this I can use factorization. Once I multiply here and here, and it's giving me the product of minus 15k squared or minus 15 if I'm using my coefficient, and I bring this one down, which is 2. I'm going to be looking for 2 factors that when I multiply together will give me minus 15, and when I add the two factors up, it will give me 2. So, and those factors will come from the factors of minus 15, and the factors are, please you watch and listen to the explanation again. The factors are 5 and minus 3. These two factors, if I add it together, it's going to give me 2. If I multiply it together, it's going to give me minus 15. So for that reason, since I've gotten it, and the coefficient of this highest power here is 1, whatever I get as my final answer, I will divide it by 1, which is still going to remain the same. That is to say, when your coefficient here is just 1, you have the whatever answer you have as your factor interchange of each sign. Now I've gotten my factors to be what? 5 and minus 3. My final answer is going to be minus 5 and plus 3 if I should calculate. Minus 5 and plus 3. So let me work with minus 5 and plus 3. That means k is equal to minus 5 or 3. If that is the reason, I'm not looking for k, I'm looking for y. That is, find the values of y. I'm looking for y, but I shouldn't forget that y raised to power minus 1 is equal to k. Therefore, mathematically, I can say, okay, therefore, I can say, using the first one, I can say y raised to power minus 1 is equal to minus 5. Don't forget that y raised to power minus 1 is the same thing as 1 over y. So I can say this is minus 5. So I can do anyhow I want to do it. This is also over 1. That's the first way I want to show you something. This is also over 1. When I reciprocate, this goes up and this comes down. I will have minus 1 over 5, which is equivalent to y. You can also from here cross multiply, and y goes here. You have 1 is equal to minus 5y. So you divide both sides by minus 5. Is that okay? You are going to get minus 1 over 5. So finally, y is equal to what? Minus 1 over 5. Whether you cross multiply from here, or you view it as this is 5 over 1 as well. So when you now put y up and bring 1 down, the 1 under here also goes up and 5 comes down. So you have it like this, and anything over 1 is that thing. So y is equal to this. So you have it like that, or you cross multiply from the beginning and you have that. Now again, I believe it's clear. By the time you watch over it again, you will see what I'm saying. Since I got to this place, I've told you, based on my experience, I don't have strength again to be solving long story about quadratic. I have a lot of ways to handle quadratic by the special grace of God. Now we have the second one is minus 3. Don't forget our second value is minus 3. Sorry, our second value is 3. We have k is minus 5 or 3. So when the second value is 3, we have y raised to power minus 1 is equal to k, and k is equal to 3 for the second one. That is all. So now we have this. So we cannot have this the way I have just explained now. This is the same thing as 1 over 1. This equal to 3. You can turn it up or you can multiply and do whatever you want to do. So we have y is equal to 1 over 3. So we have it like this. Y is equal to 1 over 3. That is it. So the values of y, hence the values of y are minus 1 over 5, or you can say comma 1 over 3. And some questions can tell you what is the positive values of y. If they say positive values of y, the positive value of y will be 1 over 3. But when they say values of y, you have this. So now let's quickly go to the second method. The second method, I don't want this video to take too long. 43. Let's go to the second method. The second method now that we have this is that you can as well a second method. Well, let me say methods too. I don't want to use second method. Second method. In this second method, let's look at what I'm going to do here. In this second method, this is what I'm going to do to make it very perfect. In this second method, you can say 1 over y raised to power 2 plus 2 over y minus 15 is equal to 0. In this respect, you have it like this. In this respect, you can multiply through by the LCM, and the LCM here is y square. So now if I multiply through by y square, multiply through by the LCM, sometimes I call it general LCM, so which is y square. There I will be having y plus 2y. If I multiply this by y square go, y square, y cancel y, remain only 1y, minus 15y square is equal to 0. So from here you can take it off also. Multiply through by minus 1. Now we are going to be having 15y square minus 2y minus 1 is equal to 0. Check it away. Oh, I have done what is right. So now we have it like this. Yes. If I multiply through by minus 1, I'm going to have it. I'm having it. Why do I multiply through by minus 1? Because of this nature. Y raised to power 2 cannot be negative. Or even if it is negative, you're still going to get the correct answer. But let's just have it like this. So since here is 0, so whatever I did it to the right hand side by multiplying right hand side by minus 1. You see 0, I multiply the left hand side by also minus 1. So it gives the same method we use. You know, we have gotten to quadratic level now. We apply the same method we applied the other time. When you multiply this and this, we give you minus 15, and the middle is minus 2. What are the two answers, two factors that will give you minus 15 and minus 2? The answer is minus 5 and 3. So when I multiply, now my factors, that's what I'm trying to say, factors. My factors are minus 5 and 3. Because by the time I say minus 5 times 3, it's going to be giving me minus 15. And by the time I say minus 5 plus 3, it's going to be giving me minus 2. For this reason, I told you I've gotten my answer. My first answer is going to be 5. And my second answer is going to be 3. But that's not all. Reason being that my coefficient here is greater than 1. Thank God. I think I have to clarify myself now. My coefficient here is greater than 1. So whatever is here, I will divide it by my final answer. So finally, y is equal to 5 over 15 or minus 3 over 15. This is the value of, these are the values of y. Thereby we can say y is equal to 1 over 5 comma, or we can say or minus 1 over 3 rather 1 over 3 comma minus 1 over 5. You can see that it gives us what we have using the other method. Can you see it clearly now? So I think we can pause this and continue with the second question. Thank you very much for your patience and learning.